The YouTube we watch today has been filtered and moderated to remove any sensitive content. But who does this moderation? Get all the latest drama stories in one place. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story. Hello everyone and welcome back to Delving Into Drama, the show we look at drama situations going on in and around the YouTube community and giving you the stories as they come. Today we have a really interesting story based around Google and YouTube content moderators. I'm sure you've heard of them before. Whenever you report a video to YouTube, a human usually reviews it for any of the content which you reported it for, and same sort of thing with Google. These content moderators can be exposed to some pretty sensitive and disgusting things, like child abuse, terrorism, murder, a whole lot of really distasteful content that can really have an impact on your mental health. And I'm sure you've heard about it before, but we didn't really know a lot about the insights of these content moderators until recently, when The Verge came out with a report profiling a former Google content moderator. Daisy Soderberg-Rivkin worked as a Google content moderator in the past. She earned a good salary, nearly six figures, and she had all of the benefits that normal Google employees had. Cafes, micro kitchens, free massages, dry cleaning, nap pods, all sounds very glamorous. But the job that she was doing wasn't so glamorous. Her job involved being exposed to hours and hours of terrorist content, child abuse content, and other really distasteful content during a normal working day. These content moderators hired by Google get 2 hours of break each day and 6 months of paid leave. So the job on paper sounds great until you start realizing what it is you're going to be watching. When she applied for the job, Daisy specifically read the section about child abuse, and it stated that she would only be exposed to it from 1 to 2 hours a week. But in reality, Google was understaffed, and that ended up being more like 6 hours a week. Being exposed to that amount of disturbing content for such long periods of time is incredibly damaging to people's mental health, and she talked about that in her Vice interview.
I was having nightmares. I wasn't sleeping. I had spent multiple days just crying in the bathroom. And, I was having all of these panic attacks. And my work productivity just dipped. And finally, my manager was like, listen, we really need you to step up your productivity game. And I just snapped and I turned to him and I said, do you understand what we're looking at? And we're not machines, we're humans. So we have emotions, and those emotions are deeply scarred by looking at children being raped all the time and people getting their heads chopped off. It was like there was no escape. And I finally snapped, and they took that as, oh, she needs to take a second. She needs to breathe. And I said, no, I need to leave.
When signing up for her job, Google sold her on the positive impact that she could have. They told her, well, you're making the internet a better place. You're hoping to support free speech online. These were the sorts of things that pulled Daisy in to this particular job. She worked mainly in the French content department, as she is fluent in both French and English, but eventually she would become the lead for the French terrorism market. I'm sure you remember in July 2016, terrorists connected to ISIS drove a cargo truck through the streets of Nice when people were celebrating Bastille Day. This attack killed 86 people and wounded over 400 more. And shortly after the attack, many images and videos of this graphic content started to surface on the web, and Daisy was pressured by her managers to process an even higher number of requests. They told her that she needed to clear the backlog, and if she didn't, she was worried that she might get a bad review. Content moderation for YouTube is usually hired out to contractors, and these contractors only make about $37,000 a year.
The contractors I've talked with in Austin are making $18.50 an hour, about $37,000 a year. Does that seem like a high enough wage given some of the risks involved?
Absolutely not. There's never going to be enough money to make this okay. I'm going to be clear about that. But I think that you need to pay contractors proportional to what they're going through, the impact of their work, because this is so vital to the business.
At the moment, we still have to use humans to make these decisions. Bots and AI don't yet have the decision-making process to discern whether something is ethically or morally correct or not, whether something is promoting terrorism or not, whether something is allowed to stay up on Google or not. Aside from clear cut and dry cases, these AI and bots can do nothing. and they have to be trained up by humans doing these processes in order for them to get better. But obviously there needs to be a greater look at what these content moderators go through and what can be done to lessen the impact on their own mental health. I do urge you to watch the full 13-minute report by The Verge. It's very insightful, and it will be linked in the description, as well as the article that we referenced for this story. Anyway, guys, that is the story for today. If you like the show, give it a like. If you hated everything about it, well, the dislike works too. You can join our Discord community where we're breaking the news all the time at discord.io/Pescatore. Foolish footage coming again in the next episode. Didn't feel right including it in this one, but until then, I'll see you for the next story. Bye-bye.